Hey, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to Draglist Live, where we get to bench race with the world's top drag racers. My name is Bill Pratt. I'm thrilled to be with you tonight because tonight we bring you Maddi Gordon, one of the top alcohol funny car stars of the current season and last season. She's been around about 2 years. Of course, you know her dad, who raced for years and years and years at the very top levels of the sport. But Maddie's on the scene, and we're going to get to meet her and find out all about this year, last year, and the year to come. Before we bring Maddie in, let's go to John real quick. John, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great here, Bill, and howdy from Houston, everybody. Please join us on the live chat. I'll take notes and I'll pass your questions and comments along to Bill and Maddie.
All right, thank you, John. And folks, click the little like down there to the thumbs up, click the share, let your friends know we have Maddie Gordon live. And to prove it, let's bring her in. Maddie, welcome to the show.
From Houston,
Hi
everybody.
guys, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited.
Us too, man. It's so cool. I was asking you a little bit before you came on. I said, where it looks like you're at a like an outdoor like ice cream shop or something. It looks amazing, but you said it's your backyard, huh?
Yes, it's our backyard. We're in California, so the weather's super nice. Yeah, hanging out on the patio. I'm inside all day. I have an office job, so it's nice to get outside when I can.
Heck yeah. Oh, hope it's nice out there. It's been brutally hot here and then it got cool this last week. So hopefully it's just chill.
Yes, it's nice. Got a little breeze, hanging out. It's pretty good.
Oh, awesome. So let's start with the beginning, right? So everybody knows Doug Gordon, top alcoholic funny car legend. How's growing up in that environment kind of shaped you? And then I want to talk about your stuff, but tell us about how you got started.
Yeah, I mean, my grandpa started sand drag racing, years ago, and kind of there was a shift. There was a lot of sand drag racers that just went over to concrete, went over to drag racing, and they kind of made that shift with kind of, I guess, the crowd per se. And then, they never did bracket racing at the time, so they basically chose alcohol funny car because it was the fastest class. It was the fastest class that didn't have bracket racing that wasn't professional. So like, cool,
Yeah.
let's go alcohol funny car racing. So my grandpa started alcohol funny car racing. I want to say it was 30, 38, 40 years ago.
Wow.
And yeah, so he drove for a lot of years. And then actually what happened was the economy started going bad, and our cabinet shop, Morbe Cabinets, basically was not going down, but not doing good enough to support our operation. So my grandpa told my dad, hey, we might have to sell the race car, so I'm going to let you drive for 1 year because you've worked so hard. I'm going to let you give you your shot, and then we're probably going to have to sell it after this year. Well, my dad did so good that my papa and my grandma were like, we don't care what it takes. We're not selling this car. And 30 years later, they gave
Yeah.
me a shot to drive. And but it's really cool, growing up in a racing family. I mean it when I say every Saturday is race car shop day
Yes.
since I was born. I mean, seriously, since I was born, we go to the race car shop, and if we actually, like, we would just ride around motorcycles and stuff before we were tall enough to even touch the ground. Papa would teach us. I don't know. It's just really cool, just being around race cars our whole life, and still to this day, Saturday's race car shop day unless we're racing. So
That's amazing. I
I'm
love
very
it.
blessed.
Well, that MB cabinets cars rocked up and down Division 7 for years and years, and of course came east and scared a bunch of people too. So
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But we've been MB cabinets, Morbe cabinets car for basically our whole, I want to say 2 years probably, until Beta came on board in 2020. And then we
yeah,
changed our whole scheme, went red. Now we're the Beta car, and
all
boy, that
right.
brought on a lot of good luck. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
listen, well, tell us. So, Dad is Doug, right?
Yes.
And then Grandpa is
Mike.
Mike Gordon. Oh my gosh,
Yes.
that's what happens when you get old like me, because I've got both of them on the drag racing list way back to the 90s, right? So we track every single team, every single pro and semi-pro team, plus a lot of exhibition cars and even some smaller sportsmen. I shouldn't say smaller. Dan Fletcher is in no way small, but I mean, we can't track the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of
Yeah.
sportsmen and bracket racers. But certainly, Mike, oh my gosh, I have to go back and do some remedial reading in my own drag racing list. But
Yeah, a lot of good sportsman racers out there. That's the core of drag racing for sure.
Absolutely. Well, Maddie, let's talk about your success, which is so amazing. You scored your first two national event wins this year, Vegas four wides in Seattle. Talk us through those days and just your feelings.
Yeah, I mean it's when I say I've dreamed of driving alcohol funny car my whole life, I seriously mean it. Like as a kid, I never knew what kind of regular car I wanted to drive. I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do as a job. I wasn't like, "Oh, I want to be a doctor." And I didn't really have that picked out, but I want to say from the day I was born, I don't know if it was that early, but it was something like that. I always knew I wanted to drive an alcohol funny car. That was just my dream. It's just what I always wanted to do, but never something that I really thought was actually achievable. Just because, being around it, I've seen, unfortunate things happen, crazy things happen, and I just never know if it'd really work out or if I'd even get the shot to do it. But in 2020, my sister and I started working on the car, and it just kind of came into fruition, and I started driving. And but when I actually got in the driver's seat, I was the first to admit that I didn't know if I was going to be good or not. I wanted to be good, and I was going to put in 1,000% effort to be the best I could, but there's just a lot of pressure, and those things are so
Yeah.
hard to drive. So to be able to actually sit in the driver's seat and win a race and hold a national event Wally is just it is every time the three times I've gotten to do it, the three times I hold one, it's like, is this really for me? Like, are you serious? So it's so amazing, and I can tell you, Vegas four wide and the Seattle National. When I see that win light come on the guardrail, I scream so loud I almost lose my voice every time because it's the best feeling in the world. Doing it with my family too, my mom, my dad, my sister Macy, my grandma Cheryl, my papa Mike, myself. We do 100% of the work at the shop, at the races. So to be able to have their support and have them all come down at the end of the race, and I get to hug
Mhm.
all of them, it's the best feeling in the world.
That's great. They got to be so proud and just to keep it going. A
It's
great, great family. But you know what you've done something twice that how many racers over their entire careers have never been able to do once. It's really amazing. It's quite something to get that done.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just honestly a dream, and I have of course give so much testament to my family, because if it wasn't for my family, I wouldn't be here. And I very, very fortunate to be able to step into a championship winning car. I
Right.
stepped into my dad's car that won the world championship that previous year. So we had a proven car. And as much as it was amazing to jump into that car, it added just that much more pressure, because now well,
Yeah.
shoot, if it doesn't keep winning, then you know why, because the only thing that changed was me. So,
Yeah.
so it
Yeah.
added a
Well, it
lot of
ain't the
pressure, but
car.
it ain't the car. It's the same car. So, but it's just, yeah, I'm having a blast. We're having a good time. The car's doing better. We struggled a little bit. We changed some stuff at the beginning of the year, and it just wasn't really acting the way we wanted to, but it's starting to show some good signs. So we're pretty stoked.
That's great. Well, tell us about the folks from Beta. How did they come aboard, and what's that all about? What do those guys do?
Yeah, so it's actually kind of a funny story how Beta came on board. So we're from Paso Robles, California, small town here, but the main so Beta Motorcycles is a Italian-made motorcycle company. So the
Okay.
the motorcycles come from Italy, and they're made there and shipped here. Well, their main distribution center is in Paso Robles, California. So Tim Pilge, the manager of the Beta USA, basically manufacturing or the plant, saw us on TV and saw that we were, locals, and that he was looking to actually sponsor and basically get Beta's name out somewhere other than the motorcycle industry, because they had
Right.
been doing some advertising in the motorcycle industry, but they wanted to get their name out somewhere else. So they uh they called us up. They called my grandpa actually, and my grandpa didn't answer the phone at the time, and Tim left a message, and my papa thought it was fake. He's like, "No way! Like, there's no way someone's calling us and actually wants to sponsor us. Like, nah, there's no way." So then Tim got a hold of my dad and said, "Hey, I called Mike, and he didn't answer." And my dad's like, "What?" Okay, let me hold on. Let's talk about this. So, they talked about it, came up with some contracts, and they've been on board since 2020. And I tell you what, they have. I mean, the beta red car. I don't know what it was, if it was the red or the beta on the side, but it turned our career, our team around. And with their sponsorship, we're really able to buy the right parts and service things correctly. And their sponsorship has turned our operation around, and I think it shows with the results that we've had from 2020 on. And they're great people to work with. They just had a new shop built over here in Paso, and it's just beautiful. They gave us a tour. Let's look around in it, and it's cool to be backed by a company like Beta.
Yeah.
Just good people and local, so it's cool. It's awesome.
That's fantastic. Really great. So let's talk a tiny bit. Well, I mean, I just want to say that, Division 7, obviously tor tough, tough, tough in all the fuel classes, but man, forever, like some of the best top alcohol cars in the world come from there. I mean, you guys are knocking, heads with some of the top cars in the sport, and it goes back to the Brad Anderson days and Dale Armstrong and,
Yeah.
everybody, and Ken Venny and everybody else since. I mean, it's just legendary out there. So must feel great to represent the division as you travel around.
It really is. Unfortunately, we don't have very many racetracks, here on the West Coast, California area, stuff like that. But
Right.
there's a lot of really, really good cars around here. And we claim, we run out of Division 7, so we run out of this region. And it's like, we're running, feels like we're running out of the hardest region. We choose the hardest, like, competitors to go compete against every week. But it's very rewarding, great, very gratifying. When you get that trophy, you feel accomplished, because if you do good, that you beat, or you were racing against some of the toughest competitors in the U.S. So
Right.
it's pretty dang cool. And yeah, oh my gosh, we had a super tight, I don't know if it's the tightest race ever in history, but it's got to be close, because me and Brian Haug, another West Coast car,
Yeah.
we ran in Seattle in the semifinals, and the margin of victories was 0.0003, which was 1 inch,
Wow.
like that much. It was crazy. Talk about a good race. It
Heck
was cool.
yeah. It's unbelievable. Well, I mean, as far as a professional race, that might be right up there. I know I've announced bracket races with 4 zeros across.
Oh, that's
But
so crazy.
crazy. But
Yeah.
yeah, whenever doing an inch, yeah, we get actually used to have fun. I used to like doing the drag racing math, and so we can figure out what that 3 thousandths of a second is, at about 265, 270 miles. It's not much, that's for sure.
No, no, it wasn't much. I could hear him next to me too. I could hear his car. I can't see him because the way our cage is built, it's really far in front of me. So
Right,
safe. It's safer that way. But I can't see him, but I can hear him. But that doesn't really mean much. He could still be ahead of me, and I wouldn't know. But
right.
it sure felt nice when that wind light came on. That's for sure.
That sounds amazing. Well, Maddie, let's see if we can check in with Mr. John and see if anybody on the chat line has any greetings for us tonight. John, what's going on out there?
Yes, we're here from coast to coast tonight. Pete Mariello in Los Angeles, Rich Panicaro in New Jersey, Craig Takamori, Randy Johnston in Northern California. Rich had a question for you, Maddie. He wanted to know if you know Jackie Fricky.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, we're good friends with Jackie Frick. We go to really a lot of the same races as she does, and yeah, no, we love Jackie. She's so fun. One thing about Jackie, which is hilarious, she's awesome. I'm serious. She'll be like in the water box. The car will be fired up, and somebody will walk past her. I'll walk past her. Getting away from the car. It's about to be burnout, and she'll wave. I'm like, what? She is, but I don't. She is like the most perceptive person ever. But she's like focused. It's so cool. It's pretty cool actually.
That's amazing. I never heard of such a thing. It was like everything they teach you not to do, but her can't
Yeah,
beat her
but
success though.
yeah, she's always looking around, but she's always focused too. She's always on it, always good. But yeah, that's kind of funny. Something cool about Jackie.
Yeah. What else we got, John?
Okay, Craig just posted. He said, My, what a totally energized young lady, enjoying her enthusiasm. And Red Racer 1985, I'm not sure what his alias is, but he said, "Hey, Bill and John, my future favorite girl in NHRA Top Fuel Racing."
There you go. Oh, someone scooped our next question, but that's all right.
Yes, well, thank you guys. I definitely have a lot of energy. Maybe because I'm young and a girl. I don't know what it is, but I do got a lot of energy and a high pitched voice.
Yeah.
Well, Randy Johnston asked, or rather, he made a comment. He said, "A good thing about top alcohol is usually it does not break parts."
I don't know. I don't know if anybody's
Unfortunately,
restripped a blower lately.
yeah, our beginning of the year, unfortunately, begged to differ with that. We had a rough ending of last year and beginning of this year. Just some parts failures, some uh things we used to be able to do that we couldn't do now, but we got it all ironed out, thankfully. But yeah, it was a rough it was rough on parts at the beginning of the year, but knock on wood, it's gotten better.
Okay, Maddie, about those blowers, which you used to have to strip them all the time with the high helix blowers. Is that sort of calmed down a bit? You don't do they take as much work as they used to in between that?
We're not allowed to restrip them ourselves. We can't take the blowers apart because they're SFI certified. We have to send them off to get properly taken apart and all that kind of stuff. We can lube it, so like we'll when we get a new blower, stuff like that, we will spray some lubricants in there to kind of help the rotors
Right.
stay together as much as we can, but we can't strip them like the top fuel guys can. um but we don't have to really do too much maintenance to them. We'll send them off. I mean, I don't know, maybe twice a year or something like that. But we do have a backup blower that we keep, in case our blower starts going down, losing pressure, or if something happens. So we do have a backup just in case.
Sounds good. Great. What else we got, Mr. John?
We are caught up for the moment.
All right, we'll get those questions rolling, guys and gals, and thank you for joining us, everybody. So let's say we were talking about Top Fuel. So there's buzz about you making the jump to Top Fuel as early as next year. What's fueling that move, and how real is the timeline?
Yes, the timeline is very real. It's an official deal, and we're hopefully we do have some really exciting announcements coming soon, so that's going to be really cool. But I will be driving Top Fuel for Ron Caps next year.
Wow.
It's it's such it's I still like get all jittery thinking about it. It's basically Ron approached us last year at Seattle, so 2024 Seattle, and approached my dad first and said, "Hey, I want to have a team car. I want to have a top fuel car, and I want Maddie to be the driver. What do you guys think about that?" And we're like, whoa, wow, that's amazing. So he's like, "Well, don't, it was right in the middle of the weekend." So he's like, "Don't, you don't need to tell Maddie. Just let her finish out the weekend, and just let me know what she says." And he's like, "Okay, okay." And so then he went back and told my mom that, probably second, as soon as you go back to the pit. And then they weren't going to tell me till after the race. It's actually kind of funny. So we were riding around. I was on our beta, and they were riding around the scooter. We were cruising around, and then we passed by the staging lanes, and Fuel was in the staging lanes. And Ron Mortimer, he was the head of staging. We drove past him. I'm like, "Hi, Ron." And my parents are like, "Who'd you just say hi to?" I'm like, "Ron." And they're like, "Ron who?" And I'm like, "Ron Warner, why are you guys freaking out?" And they're like, "Oh, we have something to tell you." So then they tell me, Ron Cass wants me to drive Top Fuel for him in 26. And I'm like, "You tell me this while I'm on a beta? I'm gonna wreck this thing." Like, what are we doing? This is not a good time. And but it was just very surreal, and that same weekend ended up being the first time I ever won a national event, became the 100th woman to win a national event. So it was
Wow.
like that weekend was like the biggest weekend of my life, and I couldn't tell everybody half of the story as to why,
Right.
but it was really cool. And so, we stayed in conversation and things kept rolling in a positive direction throughout the rest of the 24 season and the beginning of 25 season. And we made the official announcement that I will drive for him in Vegas at a press conference earlier this year. And then got a couple really exciting things coming up soon. So, but yes, timeline's very real.
That's really exciting. Well, it's so great. What do you have you started like testing at all or?
So not yet. I did get to warm up Ron's car in Vegas, which was really cool.
Mhm.
It was really interesting too because the general orientation of the cockpit's very similar to mine. The everything is pretty much in the same location for the most part. A couple things, of course, that are different, but it felt very comfortable in there, which was kind of surprising. But no test passes as of now. Basically, Ron's main focus since the very beginning was to not let the top fuel deal affect my funny car season with my family. So he's very big on just staying focused on the funny car. So I'm gonna finish out our season in the funny car, not do any testing in top fuel until after the season's over because he doesn't want me to get confused because the cars are so
Yeah,
different.
sure.
Everything's different about him. So he'll, once I step out of the funny car, then we'll transition to top fuel and do that 100%.
Oh, that is so cool. Well, I mean, when you want to shift, those darn, top alcohol fun cars are one of the hardest cars to drive out there with all the shifting and all the mechanical stuff and the now you're gonna have a clutch taking care of all that shifting stuff. That'll
Yeah,
be pretty interesting.
it will be. It'll be a big change. The driving style is completely different. Long wheelbase, no shifting, pulling a lot more G's. So it's gonna be a big change. But drag racing is 100% my life. If I'm not driving, I'm either working on the car, I'm thinking about the car, I'm wishing I was working on the car. It's my whole life. So I'm gonna dedicate everything I have, all the time I have to being the best driver I can be. And of course, I've got a lot to learn, but I've got Ron Capps and so many great people surrounding him and at the racetrack that I know will be great mentors to me to get me where I need to be.
That's awesome. So I assume some of the announcements will have to do with sponsorships and things like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha. So when you say his car, so he's got the car, right? Is he just say Ron Caps on the side, or or does he have it dialed up with his current sponsor just as a display car, or what?
So we'll hopefully have all that announcements coming soon. I can't say what's on the side of the
Right.
car just yet, but I'll tell you what, it's gonna be exciting. So it'll
Wouldn't
be really
ask you.
cool.
I guess when you warmed it up, was just covered in like a plain wrap, or what was
Oh,
it?
when I warmed up Ron's
Yeah,
car?
yeah, yeah.
Yes. Oh, so it was in the pits, so it was on the jack stands. His body, it was just his body
Oh, it
that
was
he
this
had.
funny car you did.
It
Okay,
was
so
his
the,
funny
the
car.
top fuel car is not even like on the scene yet.
No, the
I
top car.
gotcha.
No, it wasn't on the scene. It was in his car. I was in his seat.
Gotcha.
His linkage, all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Very cool. Well, that's exciting. So, so you super tight-knit family going back 3 generations, right? So, did you like how long did it take for when people say, well, there's Mike's granddaughter, Doug's daughter, to people saying, hey, there's Maddie Gordon, man. She's a rock star over there. Did people like, do you have that perception in the pits for a while?
As far as I mean, I think that definitely, we came. We've always been involved. When we were younger, we didn't really go to all that many races because we couldn't. We had school and sports and all that kind of stuff, and we
Right.
had our own racing we were doing too. So we went to a couple races a year, and we were always, Doug's daughters or Mike's granddaughters. Just because we didn't go that often. But then in 2020, when we started going full time with my dad, I think it was like, whoa, what are those teenage girls doing with arm deep in oil? What's going on
Yeah.
there? And that year it was really a very special year. It was the first year my family has ever won a world championship. They've come close a couple times, but it was the first time that we ever sealed the deal. And so to be part of it was so cool. And I think after that is when we kind of were kind of like our own people in a sense. We were Maddie and Macy
Yeah.
as opposed to Doug's daughters. um And so it was really cool, and everybody's been so respectful, so nice to my sister and I, just kind of jumping in, and everyone's always asking to lend a hand if we need. We got to lift a motor out.
Hmm.
We got two girls, but we make it happen. We knew that coming into 2020, we weren't strong enough to do the job. We weren't strong enough to torque the heads down 175 pounds, but we had to be. That's what you got to do. So we actually bought a CrossFit membership, went to CrossFit, got strong enough. And boy, I tell you what, CrossFit whooped our butts. Oh my goodness. But we got strong enough, to do the job. And yeah, so just did what we needed to do to make it happen.
That's awesome. Well, going forward, I want to ask you to like say it if it's not ready to present, but what is the family funny car plan to do? Is your sister interested in driving? Is your dad going to jump back in the seat, or
So
do we?
my dad's gonna get back in.
Okay.
He We offered it to my sister, of course, but I think she's too dang smart to get in it. That's the deal. She's got too many brain. She got the right brain going on.
Too
She's
much
like,
gray matter going on? Is that
yeah. So you guys are dumb. That don't sound like fun. But
the
she drives her own top dragsters and super comp cars. So
Wow.
her top dragster goes just over 200 miles an hour, and then a super comp goes about 180. But
Yeah.
she is a killer bracket racer. She's very consistent. She's very even keel. Um, so she puts her delay in, and she don't really change it that often because she's just very, very even keel. She doesn't really get flustered and stuff.
Right.
And she likes a plan. She's a plan oriented person. So she wants a plan versus the funny car is kind of seat of the pants driving. You don't know what it's going to do. You don't know if it's going to try and shove you into the wall, pick the front end up 30 feet, or 300 feet,
Right.
so she has no interest in driving, but she builds all of our engines. So
Wow.
she's just as important, honestly, as she's just as important as anybody. Maybe even, I don't know, she does more than me. She knows more than me about the motor, and she builds from a bare aluminum Allen Johnson block. She builds it up to a running engine. She's
Wow.
she's she's bad to the bone. She's cool.
That's unbelievable. People may come try to snatch her up.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
So
Yeah.
all those great nitro fuel crew chiefs come from the alcohol
We're
ranks
gonna have
over
to get a leash on her.
there. John, were you saying you had something from the folks? I don't know if I caught the wrong hand. I know that
No,
some,
you
okay,
got
go
it right, man. Yeah, we were discussing what you were just talking about, where uh, Pete asked if the funny car would continue after Maddie changes to top fuel, and you just answered that while I was typing it in. So we got that. And I expected that your sister would eventually move into top alcohol funny car. She's in a dragster right now, if I'm correct.
Correct, yeah.
And it's a natural progression to get there. And Randy Johnston said the Caps team could not be a better place for you. And I, for one,
Oh,
I can't wait to see this. This is going to be fantastic.
thank you very much. I'm very honored to be part of the Caps team and his first ever teammate as an owner. So that's a huge
Yeah,
honor.
that's right. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Rich just asked what your sister's name is. I believe it's Macy, isn't it?
Yes, Macy. Yep.
Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's really cool though. She's my biggest supporter, and I'm a huge supporter of her. We're going to Seattle this weekend. She's gonna drive her top dragster and super comp car, and I'm gonna be there with my wind meter. I'm gonna check in that wind. I'm gonna be
Nice.
on
Yeah.
it.
So did you grow up? You mentioned that your family never did bracket racing, but did you? Is that how you kind of got started? What got you into the seat?
Yeah. So kind of funny how it all started, but I always wanted to race, but it just really never we when I was younger I always wanted to race and drive a junior dragster, but it just never really worked out with the schedule, with my dad's funny car schedule. It just never really played out right. And I was in gymnastics at the time, and then I broke my collarbone twice in
Oh no.
gymnastics. And my mom's like, "Okay, we're done. Let's get into something safer. Like, let's get a race car now." so so just so happened basically the same year I broke my collarbone the second time, the schedule kind of worked out with the funny car and the junior dragster. So we bought a junior dragster. I started when I was 8 years old, and then my sister it's kind of funny how she got into it. She did not want to do it at all. She's like, nope, I want to do it. Nope, absolutely not. I don't want it. It's too scary. Well, then after I had moved up a couple years and we got me a new car, we were gonna sell my first car because Macy wasn't gonna drive. So these dad and his young daughter, super little tiny girl, comes over. I want to say she was like 5, and my dad, my sister was there, and my dad was gonna sell him the car, and my dad's like, I'm sorry, I just can't sell you this car. Your daughter's too little. Like, I'm sorry, I can't sell it. So then, so then they leave, and my dad totally guilts her into it. He's like, really, Macy? You're gonna let that little girl take the race car, and you won't even drive it? Come on! And so he guilt her into it, and I tell you what, she just killed it. She actually won her first race out, and she's the one who didn't even want to do it, and now she just kills it. But anyways, yeah, I started driving junior dragsters. We drove junior comps as well, which is a larger junior dragster, but it has a motorcycle engine in it. So we ran Hayabusas. Um, that's what we ran. Ran those for a couple years, and then did some super comp, and then to the funny car.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, great. Great. And I know you're a killer on the lights because of it.
Yes.
You can't beat that muscle memory, and you got Macy over there with the scientific mind making it happen and calculating
Right?
it all out.
She's like, the light should come on in 0.24 seconds. Oh, there it is.
What is your so what's your pre-run mindset? Do you focus on reaction time, track conditions?
I have we have a practice tree in our lounge, so I'll hit that a lot throughout the weekend, and then every time after I get my suit on, I'll hit the practice tree quite a few times till I feel like I'm really comfortable and good to go out there. And then I'm pretty lax coming into the lanes and stuff. I actually prefer to just kind of like bebop around, and
Yeah.
I just cruise through the staging lanes and hi and hang out and talk to people, and I love that. I love doing that, especially in the alcohol pits. Like, we're all just really good friends, and it's just you basically travel the country with your friends.
Right.
So it's really cool to hang out and talk to people. And my mom's always like, where is she? We need to get ready. Madison, come here. Like, I stress her out all the time. But typically I'm pretty lax. And then, but as soon as like it's time to go, basically I get ready about 5 pairs before I actually run. And as soon as I put my earbuds in, then it's go time. It's
Okay.
focus. I'm in my zone. No more bebopping around. And really, I'm pretty quiet to myself. I don't really like people coming in and talking to me when I'm in the cockpit. I prefer to just kind of sit there and think, because that's really just my time to just sit there. I think about the run. I process what we changed, if we added counterweight, if we, leaned the motor, if we took all different kinds of stuff. I just kind of process it and kind of get a game plan as to what should happen. Now, you never really
Mhm.
know what's actually going to happen, but I like to be prepared, and that's just my time to focus and kind of get my head right.
That's really great. What are you you've raced and won at the national level. What's something the average fan doesn't realize about what it takes to get there?
I would say probably what's pretty cool, I think, nowadays with social media is you really get an inside look into a lot of the driver and crew members' lives, which I think is really cool. But I would say maybe what some people don't grasp is probably the amount of, for one, time it takes behind the scenes, and two, the amount of dedication you have to run at this caliber. It's there's a lot of little tiny things that you have to focus on when you run at this caliber. Like, for instance, we go to the lake. I love the lake. We have a good time, but I'm extremely cautious. I don't want to take any chance of getting hurt. I
Right.
don't want to get hurt. Drag racing is my life, and if I get hurt, I can't drive. So,
Right.
I wakeboard, and if anything goes slightly wrong, I let go of the rope. Oh, I'm out.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it. Or
Right.
maybe the time and the probably the sacrifice you have to give to run at this caliber. You miss a lot of family events back home. You miss a lot of your typical friends, all your friends are going out, but you're gone, whether you're
Right.
actually physically gone at a race or you're at the race car shop because you need to work, or you're working late. You're working late at the race car shop to get your stuff done, or I'm working late at our Morbid cabinets because I was gone for 3 days and so I got to catch up on work. So there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that goes on that probably most people don't see. But anybody out there driving, anybody out there working, crew members, truck drivers, crew chiefs, everybody, if you're out there, you get it. It's just part of it. And if you don't love it, you're gonna hate it because it's way
Yeah.
too much work to do if you don't love it.
Yeah, the old saying, it's people for people who hate money and love work, isn't it?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
I think I got that backward, but it's about the same. So
I knew what you meant though. I was picking up what you were throwing down.
what is so for let's go ahead to 26 for a moment. What would a successful season look like for you? Just, getting qualifying would imagine. Obviously winning a race would be amazing, but
Yeah.
what have you how do you have you guys even talked about that yet?
We haven't really talked about expectations as far as 2026. We haven't quite set, any goals and things like that. But, I think, with Ron Caps and Guido and everybody over there, I know that I'm in the best hands possible, and they're gonna they're gonna put together the best team, with the best parts and the best people. So, I'm gonna have an amazing team surrounding me, and with the mentors and all that. I don't know exactly what it's well, like I don't want to put like, specifics on it, but definitely, just meshing as a team I think will be huge for sure, of course. But of course I want to make the countdown and me in the countdown to that just sounds crazy. I just said that for the first time and that's crazy. But obviously, make the countdown, be in the countdown to the championship and be able to run with everybody and again, we'll see how the season goes. But I see no reason why, at least our parts and our team and our crew and everything like that, I'm assuming we should be able to be up there with the top dogs, and I'm gonna put 100% effort in to be the best I can be as fast as I can. So we'll see, but
Sound, sounds
hopefully
great. I
really
don't
good.
think the top end commentators are ready for you. You're gonna bring, because everybody, you got to say certain things you got to say, right? But you're amazing. I love more natural, free flowing, organic responses to questions and stuff. I think you're
You,
gonna.
yeah, I kind of free flow. I'm sometimes it doesn't make any sense. Sometimes I talk really fast, so I'm trying to slow that down a little bit so people actually know what I'm saying. but yeah, I just kind of just say what's on my mind, I guess.
No, I love it. Keep on rocking. But you're another. I mean, just a great racer, straight up. But the little boys and little girls are watching you, so you're a great inspiration. I did the gals and to the little guys. You have now. There's a whole generation, especially coming up in junior dragsters. It's like straight up, equal there because the little gals are tough as they can be. But I
Yeah,
mean, I just love all the way back to Shirley Muldowney and Shirley Shahan back out your way, and Paul Murphy and everybody. You're kind of continue and Bunny Burkett. Can't forget my good friend Bunny. The
yeah,
first top alcohol winner in a national event. So
yeah.
and Alexis who did it. You're just keeping it going, man, and it's great to see that continuum happening. And you ever kind of the little kids come up to you sometimes? Do you get to do the rope line sometimes and say howdy?
I do. It's really really special when you get honestly anybody who comes up there. Like for me, giving autographs is something I love. I truly enjoy the heck out of it. I love being able to take that extra time with the fans that come out there because they spent their hard-earned money to come out there and watch a race. So
Right.
I feel like the least I can do is just maybe add to their experience and maybe tell them something they may not have known about drag racing or show them a funny car or give them a spark plug or something like that. I really try to make fans feel special because I feel special when they come up and ask for my autograph. I feel special,
Mhm.
and it's really cool, especially seeing the little kids who ask. They ask questions, and you can tell they're really interested, and get take pictures with them and stuff. But it's really special to be able to sign autographs for young kids and maybe be an inspiration for them. Actually, one of the coolest things was a gentleman came up to me and said that uh, because of my sister and I working on the cars and everything we've done, it actually inspired her that when she gets out of high school, she wants to build a race car with her dad and start drag racing. And that was
That's
just
great.
that touched my heart. That was the coolest thing.
That's awesome. Inspire people just need that inspiration. I think they need to know that there's a way to go, someone doing it, and someone leading the way. And that word of inspiration, that kind word goes so far. They'll remember that forever. So
Yeah,
amazing.
thank you.
Let's go check in with Mr. John and whoever else is out there. Any other thoughts coming in, John?
Yeah, so we've had some discussion while y'all were talking here. Crafty Kate asked Maddie if she can have some of her energy.
Yeah, drink some F3 energy. You're gonna get some right there.
And Rich Panicaro offers the best of luck to you, Maddie, and we all do.
Thank you
Mhm.
very much.
We had a discussion about the top alcohol car. Rob McCabe is with us tonight. He said, I remember that Macy ran the Vegas doubleheader divisional back in April. And I responded to that. I said, Top Dragster is a good springboard to the top alcohol funny car, in my opinion. Uh, he said, yes, Top Dragster is great for both alky ranks. And I added, Macy will need a little time. She's still very young, but she'll get there. And Rob said, more with the long cars, but definitely can work for the flopper racers. And he also added that Doug will continue being the force he's known to be in the interim.
No doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. He's looking forward to it. The whole family is. It's like his home. He started driving Alcohol Funny. That was the first car he ever drove, was Alcohol Funny car. And but I tell you what, he did great in Supercomp. It was really cool to
Really?
watch
Oh,
to
wow.
watch him run. Yeah, he just was consistent on the button and went through his struggles, of course,
Hmm.
of bracket racing. And it was cool because me and my sister, like, we learned bracket racing with my dad. We learned at the same time. He had never bracket raced ever. So when we were learning in junior drag shows, we were all three learning together. And now he gets to see it from the driver's perspective, and we get to, kind of teach him from the driver's perspective what
Right.
you do. And so that's been really cool.
That's awesome. So yeah, you got somebody telling Doug how to do some stuff. That's pretty cool.
Helping him through the way.
Helping him through. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. So we was gonna give you a couple seconds here, and we do for all our guests, and give us a couple shout outs. You got the folks, some of your sponsors. We already talked about Beta, who are doing a great job, and thanks to them. But anybody else that helps you out or
Yeah, yeah,
mention?
absolutely. Of course, Beta Motorcycles, they're our main primary sponsor. Morbid Cabinets, of course, our family-owned business, celebrating 52 years in
Woohoo!
business this year. And then we have Lucas Oil, of course, been with us for a lot of years. They're big to us. Of course, oil is huge. With bad oil, you're not really going to go very far. So
Right.
Lucas has been awesome to us. NGK Spark Plugs, run all their spark plugs, have for a lot of years and years and years. Hoosier Tires, they really stepped on board with us a couple years ago. Obviously, tires are huge and they're expensive too. So to be able for Hoosier to help us out, it's been really big for us. It's been really cool. We got Carlisle Tools, who provided us a bunch of amazing tools this year, which has been, of course, huge because you're not working on any car without tools. So
Right.
they've got some really cool, your standard torque wrenches, end wrenches, ratchet wrenches, Allen wrenches, all that kind of stuff. But they've got some really cool specialty tools as well. Like, like we kind of like, grind some wrenches down and make them fit and all that kind of stuff. But they've got them made actually that look good
Wow.
that you want to present. So That's been really cool for us. It's F3 Energy, energy drinks, really good energy drinks, by the way.
Crafty
Oh,
Kate, we got you.
yeah, that's right. They also have moods, which are really cool. In case you don't like caffeine, they don't have caffeine in them. Nice flavored drinks, but yeah, so it's really cool. We have a lot of partners that help us out to get us where we are. And it's we can't do it without them. You know, Morbid Cabinets, of course, is our family business, our backbone. But without all the beta and all of our contingency sponsors and primaries and stuff, we couldn't do it at the level we're doing. So it's huge thanks to them.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, tell us a little bit about MB cabinets, right? Or Morbay cabinets, right? Because are those race car cabinets like for inside trailers, or are they beautiful cabinets for the home? I've
Beautiful,
heard the name forever, but I
yeah.
didn't really investigate what that was.
They're beautiful cabinets for the home. So we do basically commercial and residential. We do mainly residential cabinets. So we do commercial as well, but mainly residential. We'll do super ultra modern where you see like there's no handles and stuff.
Right.
We'll do ultra traditional where you've got corbels, where you have, you know, lots of decorative appliques and stuff like that. And then we'll do commercial stuff, like we'll do um, I'm drawing a blank here.
Like
Um,
offices and things like
yes,
that.
like offices, like college dorms, college campuses, stuff like that. We do a lot of the college type commercial work in the summertime because kids are
Gotcha,
off.
gotcha.
It's summer, but then a lot of remodels, a lot of new builds. So I do sales there right now. So I basically work with customers, bid plans, work with contractors, work through, you know, phone, email, in-person meetings, stuff like that. But we are looking for a replacement for me, which is crazy because I, of course, will be full time with Ron next year, so I can't
Uh-huh.
do what I'm doing now. So if anybody is in the area, Pastor Opal's looking for a sales job, got you
Oh,
handled.
you better drink it through F3s before you come, though. You want to be closing deals like Maddie.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, Maddie, where can we find you on the internet? How do we follow along?
So I have Instagram and Facebook. Instagram is maddygordon.racing and Facebook is maddygordon.racing or Maddie Gordon Racing. So that's pretty much our mains. That's actually all I have. And we do, you know, race updates, of course, during the whole race weekend. So you can honestly follow along on our feed and you'll see every qualifying pass, every elimination run between between rounds, all kinds of stuff on Facebook and Instagram, and then, you know, of course, between races and stuff like that, we'll put some fun stuff up. But
Cool.
yeah, that'd be the best way to keep in touch with our team.
Awesome. I love it. John, any final thoughts from you or the gang before we say farewell? Unfortunately to Maddie, we got to send her on her
That's
way, but
okay.
it's been so much fun.
Well, I thought I'd let you know, Maddie, when I made your graphic for the show, I was in Facebook jail and I
Oh.
couldn't get to your Facebook page. So all of the images that are in there, I either got from Google Images or from your website. So it all worked out for the best.
Oh, it
And
looks great. Thank you for doing that.
well, yeah, I do it every week, you know, for our guests and for either Racer of the Week or JB's take. I do that, you know. And Pete Mariello in Los Angeles said, I have no doubt that Maddie will do very well in the top fuel class, and I'm sure Ron Capps feels the same. And so do we, Maddie. We wish you the absolute best.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. The support, it means a lot.
Thank you, John. And Maddie, it's been a great. I love it. Tell us about the Black Hands real quick. What's that story with the Lindbergh Racing?
Oh,
That's the
yes.
cutest picture I ever saw, I think.
Yes, I do the clutch. That's my job. So in between rounds, I knock the clutch out of it, take the transmission out, put a new one back in, set it all. So that's what I do. And actually, in that specific picture, we were at home, and in between races, I service and I take the whole hat completely apart, clean it all up, and it is a dirty. So I swear I didn't like wipe my hands in something to get them that dirty. I was just working, and that's just how dirty they were. So I just showed the camera, and I tell you what, clutch does not come out very easily. It kind of
Yeah,
stays there for a while.
Well, Maddi Gordon, what a delight to meet you. Wishing you nothing but the best and just taking the world by storm. I mean, I remember the license runs in the 540s, and everybody was like gasping, wow, 549, 266, what the heck? On a license run? Unbelievable. And
Yes.
you've obviously held up your end of the bargain with a couple of wins and heading into the big shows. Congratulations. A pleasure to meet you, and I can't wait to follow along.
Thank you guys very much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Maddi Gordon, two-time NHRA national event top alcohol funny car winner on her way to Top Fuel in 2026. But first, let's chase that championship in 25.
Mhm.
See you later, my
Yes.
friend.
Bye. Thank you.
So amazing. Let's say farewell to Maddi and let's go over to John for this week's JB's Take. John, take it away, sir.
Am I unmuted? Yeah. Thanks, Bill. I've been involved with the City Kings for 35 years, going back to when I got the call in 1990 to play bass for the Kingfishers. We've been through it all. Band members joined and left, but the core of the band, consisting of Scott Berman, Bill Gibson, Randolph Arrington, and myself, have remained and are now working on our second album. Randolph isn't here with us physically, but he's with us, and I believe he approves of what we're doing. We have a backlog of original material, and we all know that it's time to make a permanent statement, so here goes. The City Kings album project is a long, drawn-out exercise in multi-tracking. We've had starts and stops. At this time, we're on the home stretch of finishing up the second song. It's going to be a 12-song album. We've agreed to record the tracks raw, and we'll come back later and do the mixing and mastering. That way we aren't spending so much time during the basic recording process, and when we all have the tracks done, we'll go back and make mixes of all the material. We're using a Tascam 24-track digital Porta Studio. Actually, we have two of them. One here in the jam room where we're doing the tracks, and one at Bill's studio where he's doing his vocals. All of the material is saved to an SD card. It's good. This album is going to have a lot more going into it than our first album had. Although everybody loved that first album titled 4 Lifetimes, which Debbie named, the recording was sparse and it was very basic. This album is titled When the Nighttime Comes, and the songs are fully orchestrated with a wall of sound utilizing keyboards, multiple guitars, layered harmonies, and an expansive wall of sound atmosphere. The Bill Gibson songs are deep, poetic, and dealing with life changes and the challenges as well as a freewheeling lifestyle. My songs are dealing with the ghost in our house, my spiritual existence, the assassination of John F. Kennedy, my black life before I settled down, and a few other topics. Scott Berman is a master of percussion, and he plays the songs perfectly. Our bass player, Randolph Arrington, passed away in 2020. He was our anchor and our mentor. We struggled for a couple of years after Rand went to heaven, but we kept playing and we put this album together. His spirit is with us forever. I know Randolph's parts for these songs, and I'm playing bass on the tracks. We're going to credit him with those parts when the album is completed, and I hope he will approve. As the old saying goes, Rome wasn't built in a day. This album is going to be something else when it's finished. Right now, we all have lives that often require us to prioritize our personal issues, dealing with family, health, and schedule changes, but we're managing to move forward with the album. We completed the first album 20 years ago. We're looking at this album as our lasting statement, one that will stand forever in the City Kings history. We hope to have it done within the next year or so, and I'll be happy to send the finished album to anybody who wants a copy. Everybody stay safe and well. You are the most important part of this show, and we love you all. It's a great way to spend an hour together on a Monday night. And we'll see y'all next time. God bless America. Back to you, Bill.
Thank you, John. And oh man, I love my version of or my copy of For the Lifetime, so I can't wait to hear this one. And I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
Thanks, man.
Awesome. Well, cool. Well, let's talk about upcoming guests. Thanks to Miss K and Mr. Pete. We have got some great guests coming up. But first, the next Monday night, we're taking the evening off. I have a family vacation. Going to see and meet and greet with some of my loved ones and Denise's family as well. So hopefully you're getting to see all your loved ones sometime this summer or sometime during the year. But that's what's happening next Monday night, so we won't have a show. On August 18th, we're going to be joined by Jim Brewer, the legendary Peacemaker wheel stander out of Cleveland, Ohio. He's just delighted fans for years and years with his wild and wacky efforts, everything you want from jet like Star Wars cars to, his latest 33 Willies, which is the wildest thing you ever want to see, to Cadillacs. He's done it all. We're going to catch up with Jim Brewer, the Peacemaker, on August 18th. On the 25th, Ken Younggreen is going to tell us how he home built that Viper powered dragster, which looks amazing. And that's truly a technical marvel. And he built it from the ground up, including the motor out of a Viper. He's got two Viper motors, and most folks can't afford one Viper motor or a Viper. But we're going to hear all about it from Ken Younggreen. That's coming up on August 25th. On September 1st, we're going to take off for Labor Day and enjoy Indy, and hope everyone else does. I'm sure our friend Maddie will be out there, but everybody enjoy Labor Day and of course the big U.S. Nationals. And we'll be back on the 8th for Johnny West, a legendary funny car racer who tuned everything out there and drove everything out there. He's unbelievable. Johnny West joins us back for the show. Uh, on the 15th, I'm off for a work event. Good old GovIT Works. That's like, where am I? That's my new company there. We've got some things we got to do downtown in the DC area, helping do IT stuff for folks. So we're off on September 15th, but back on the 22nd for Chico Kodama from Moon Eyes. And I can't wait to talk to Chico, the legendary Moon Eyes enterprise there, along with his great efforts out on the Salt Flats. And on the 29th of September, Dina Paris, the Pro Mod champion, the spicy meatball. She's amazing. And I can't wait to get her on. She's just a hoot. If you've never met or heard from Dina Paris, you'll love her. On October 6th, Dave Gallegos, the Nitro Clown Nostalgia Funny Car. And the 13th, oh, that's Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day. And we don't know if we're going to have a show or not, but that's way down the road, couple months down, but we've got great guests until then. So thank you, Miss K. Thank you, Mr. Pete. Let's go on then to those we lost this week. Some huge, huge names and some great local racers. On the 25th of July, we lost Doug Baker, who drove a C stock automatic Mustang, red, white, and blue car. Very popular. Lots of people love him. Farewell to Doug. On the 28th of July, we lost the famous Stan Sharoma, one of the great fuel racers of all time, from the Midnight Skulker funny car, which was called that because the closer it got to midnight, the later rounds, the faster and faster it went. To, of course, one of the quickest and fastest Chevrolet powered top fuel dragsters in history, indeed the last man, I think, to win a Chevy Top Fuel event in Chevy powered Top Fuel race in National Hot Rod Association. This was at the Seattle race, same place Maddie won a couple years later. So farewell to Stan Sharoma. I mean, he's all over the drag list. Just few moments won't give us, ample time to talk about his great contributions. But one of the greats, Stan Sharoma, passing on the 28th. On the 29th, another giant in the sport. Sorry to report that Gene Altizer, our dear friend on the East Coast, has passed away. Gene, one of the just absolute killer drivers in supercharged gas over the years. Always, always one of the quickest cars at the tracks, winning in the supercharged gas categories over the years. It's part of the famous S&S racing team and he was the quickest of that gang. They had gassers in several categories, but Gene was the leader there with his amazing blown supercharged gassers. And then years later, going to injected nitro funny cars with the Pack Rat and other machines, often running as quicker than the blown nitro cars of the era. Gene Altizer just picking him up and putting him down. A great racer, a great tuner. And I was so thrilled and proud to know him in recent years, because one of our super friends here on the East Coast, as we have our little family of nostalgia drag racing guys and gals who go up and down the East Coast here to all the nostalgia events. Of course, the SNS racing team always well represented at these, and Gene was always there with his lovely wife. So I'm so sorry to say farewell to Gene Altizer, truly one of the great drag racers of all time, and we'll never forget him. He'll be in the racing the history books forever. And then really an unfortunate passing, not drag racing per se, but certainly within our gang. On the 2nd of August, just this last weekend, Chris Roche, Resche. So I don't know Chris, it's Roche or Roche. He's very well known within drag racing. Ron Capps, who we spoke about tonight, putting up some words of condolence, but unfortunately lost his life in one of the Bonneville time trials over the weekend. So farewell to Chris, one of the greats. Do yourself a favor, and I'm just not providing enough info on this great racer, but look him up and to appreciate the contributions he made. Seeing lots and lots of tributes to Chris on the internet. So farewell to Doug, Stan, Gene, and Chris. Great racers passing. Thank you for the thrills, gentlemen, and of course condolences to your families and all your many friends. And in the case of Gene Altizer and Stan Sharoma, indeed, we've got our great friends on the line tonight who knew Stan very well. And Gene Altizer is a friend, a family a member, basically here on the East Coast. With that, let me turn it over to John for any final thoughts, and we'll do a wrap. John, your thoughts, sir?
Well, this was a fantastic interview with Maddi Gordon. She is just a real firecracker, man, and we're looking forward to seeing her out there next year. And she's going to be a terrific competitor as she is right now. And
Mm,
I forgot to ask her if she was planning on racing in Dallas this year, but if she's there, I'll stop by her pit and say hi.
yeah,
And as I understand, we're off on the 11th, right?
right.
We're not going to have a show. We'll be back on the 18th.
Absolutely. Yep.
So
You're the
it's
peacemaker.
all good, man. Enjoy the time, enjoy the 2 weeks, and we look forward to seeing everybody back with us on the 18th.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it. Will do. And let's go ahead and do a wrap, folks. We want to thank Maddi Gordon, who was delightful. So much energy, as Crafty Kate said. Oh my gosh, let's bottle that. And we'll all go a little faster. John Bockelman, my brother, thank you. Kay Turkelson, Pete Mariello, Rob McCabe, Melba Shore, Ron Toombs, and John Mernon II. Thanks to all for everything you do for us. Thanks in heaven to Danny White, the big guy. Whoops, here's what I did. I didn't do my video thing. I was so enraptured by Maddie's d thing that I didn't put my so now I'm pointing to the big eye. And Danny White, farewell, my friend, and thanks for everything you did for us. In the meantime, we also want to thank Jeff Gilder of Zeus Digital Marketing and Racers Reunion Radio and Wing Ding Media. Click the like, click the share, and click the little Facebook black, white, and red square there to subscribe to our channel. We'd love to have you part of the family. And with that, and checking out draglist.com daily to see what's new. In fact, moments from this, I'm going to put up a new event report from Rob McCabe, who did some reporting this last weekend and took some photos. So thanks, Rob, for that. And then, folks, have an awesome 2 weeks, because we won't see you next Monday night, but we will see you on August 18th for Jim Brewer. Until then, have an awesome time with your friends and family. Hug them close, and we'll see you down the road a little bit.